For one, if you don't mind giving the video a like, just I'll go for YouTube. For two, I got this realtor has been messaging me, and I want to just know kind of across the board. This is one of those things that's not supposed to be like a, I'm sorry, I'm sucking on a mint, so hopefully it's gone here in a few minutes. But realtors, I seem to have kind of problems with realtors. It kind of goes with that whole thing. And I don't, maybe because I don't get specific enough about it. I don't get people that will also give me any feedback on it, in a sense. It's kind of like that whole thing with the churches, right? Love the church. Amen. Hallelujah. I'm actually at a Catholic one right now, across the street. But I don't like working for them. Nothing personal, nothing against people. It's because there's not one decision maker. Now, with the realtors seem like, I don't know if they're just kind of shady. I don't know if they're always just trying to save a buck. I don't know if they're trying to screw you over. But I'd like to hear your guys' opinion on it. Especially if you deal with them. Or you have dealt with them in the past. Because, let me paint you a little bit of a picture. Let me paint you a picture. I got that guy, some of you guys might know, if you tuned in. I ended up, kind of does storage / real estate. And I went out there and his, somebody trenched across his driveway to put underground sprinkling. And ended up damaging the loop wire for the gate operator. It happens. So I went out there, tried to do a repair on it. I think they cut it the long ways, so I'd have to make like 2 or 3 splices in this thing. I really didn't feel comfortable about doing that. I did the one. It didn't fix it. Now, mind you, I knew going into it, and I could have pushed harder, but I didn't. I went into it with knowing because I did tell him from the get-go, I said, I can give you a price. I'll give you an estimate what you're looking at. And for the most part, he's pretty good dude. And I don't have nothing personally against him. It's just business. And anywho, I went out there. I was there. It was like after hours. I think it was on a Sunday. And I thought, screw it. I'm going to try to, plus it was kind of a learning experience for me. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to splice it together. And I'm going to try it. And if it don't work, it don't work. It is what it is. I got a little bit of wire into it. I more or less got time into it. And so I ended up, I'll get to some of your guys' comments in a minute. I just want to get this off at the beginning of the video, so if somebody comes in. So I did the repair, basically didn't charge them. And then I told him, I said, well, the thing is that originally, he did this project, whatever, a couple years ago now. He paid basically $1,000 per loop for 2 of them. So he paid $2,000. And while you guys are here, if you don't mind, hit the like button. Just helps bring more people in, more conversations, fun stuff, if you would, please. And it doesn't cost you a dime. It's only $19.99. 3 easy payments of $19.99. Just joking. It's nothing. And so anywho, obviously you paid for it in the day, right? But we sandwiched it, the layers. There was one layer of asphalt, then there was another layer. We sandwiched it in between, so it looked sweet. It's great. So I was like, okay, we don't have the loop detector. It went down in price or something. It was like $800 or something like that. And he kind of came back with, money's a little tight. I really don't have, that to spend. And I'm like, totally get it. Totally get it. I understand. The economy's not the best. Sure. And it's a safety loop part. So it's not even like a free exit loop or anything. And it's like honestly, you could probably live without it for the time being. If you come across a lotto ticket, I would, go ahead and spend the money. So anywho, he doesn't want to do it, right? Well, now, getting these messages. Hey, basically, holy shnikes. Can I turn the camera around? Look at all that. Oh my gosh, I hope that just did not just happen. Golly, I hope that just did not happen. Oh, that breaks my heart. Breaks my heart if that's something just happened to somebody. That's horrible. That is horrible. And so, sorry, squirrel. And anywho, oh wow, I see we got one like. Hey, one's better than none. So, anywho, he's now messaging me and he's like, hey, I got this like a nephew or something that's he's like a certified electrician, blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, okay, cool for you, good, that's awesome. And it's turned it into these conversations. Hey, we don't see a part number for this loop wire. And I'm like, well, Mike, you can get the loop wire from Lowe's. Like, I believe it's a 14 gauge. And I'm trying not to like divulge a lot because I'm kind of going like that whole, sometimes it's like, what do they say? You're not paying me for my time, you're paying me for my experience. And so I'm like, I just have a hard time like divulging too much, especially when you didn't want to use me. So now it came back with something, well, there's a black coating on it of some sort. And I was like, well, we might have used a pre-formed loop, which you can do. Or realistically, with their situation, what they're doing, they just need to get the wire and loop it around a few times and, do their homework. And it's not rocket science. Anybody can do it. But it's one of those things, it's a lot easier to do it if you got experience. And so luckily right now it's been a little bit of crickets for at least the day. But I just wanted to know, like I said, this isn't the first time. I've done work for realtors too, and I've also not gotten paid by them. And I've, it's like, trust me, I contacted them, I sent them letters. It was like, they just kind of were like, you're a nobody. So anyways, I just wanted to know some of your guys' opinion, hopefully after the live, because I can only stay on here for about a little bit. I got other stuff I got to do, but I see, what was this, Channel D? That's a kind of a neat name. It says, hey, he says, bro, I'm an amazing YouTuber. You may not have a lot of people watching this, but who cares? Never give up. That's right. I look at it like too, it's not even so much people watching, it's for my kids. I do it for my kids because this is an amazing piece of a technology, and I do it for, there's other reasons, there's employees and stuff like that too, and there's a lot of people that come in afterwards and watch them. Like right now, it's pretty early in the afternoon, so everybody's out, hustling, getting home, still out doing some projects, all that kind of things. But like I said, if you're here and you got questions about garage doors or gates or fencing or business or service industry, ask away. You're more welcome to. We're here. We're here right now. I'm here right now, and I'm more than happy to ask or try to answer any question I can to the best of my knowledge. Like I said, I've been in the business for over 18 years now, doing garage doors and gates and fencing. So I got some years on me. Like I said, I was just sitting over here looking at what everybody has helped build over the years. There's the shop. If it ever shows up, I got the open up the slide. I stopped over because there she be, man. There she be in her glory. A lot of work. Tons of work. We got the whole corner lot. Oops, I hit the button, sorry. On a 5-laner. A lot of work, man. A lot of work. But it can be, you can enjoy it. On a 5-laner. That's what I call it, the 5-laner. What's up, Elite? I see Elite Door. I forgot my water. I didn't bring the water. I'm gonna die here. Luckily I got the air on. Hopefully this air behind here is not too loud for you guys. It says been in business for myself for 6 years and in the trades for 16. Ooh. This is knock on wood. I haven't had an issue with realtors. That's good, man. Like I said, it's just one of those things. I know there's maybe a couple more. Like my brain goes to, I have caution with realtors. And like I said, it's not, I can't say everyone I've ever dealt with was a problem, but I've just had some that it's kind of like that whole loyalty thing I go to. It's like when they're like a one-off, right? They just call you out of the blue, like, hey, we need somebody out here to like fix this door right now. We actually got a house showing today, so like the sooner the better. Those are almost like the ones I just want to go, nah, call somebody else, because it's like, who's gonna pay you? The realtor, the homeowner, the person buying the home. It's like, it's a very like, you know, so like if you do it, you need to make sure who's gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that you can do to help eliminate that situation. The other thing with like the churches and stuff like that, what really the problem is there's not one decision maker. That's what I found a problem with, not having one decision maker. One decision maker is so much better than having a group. I've had what was I think I did earlier this year, was it? I did a slide gate. They wanted it removed and stuff. And we reinstalled like the fence line that was on the gate. It was kind of hard to explain, but reinstalled it, and it's like everybody had to walk down the street. Everybody had to put in their 2 cents. Everybody, you know, well, it's a little wobbly here, and it only had certain spots to hook up to. And I was like, I really, the more I drill into this, is like, it's going to be bad, because I said, you know, it's powder coated. And I even did my best. Anything I drilled into, I used silicone to try to keep it from rusting. And I'm like, I'm trying, you know, I'm like, this thing's already been here 20 some years. I'm like, and it looks, I mean, it's just a little faded, but it still looks good. And it's not rusty. And I'm like, everything I put into this, like if I weld on this, so I had to use the brackets that were existing on it. But what I'm getting at is that the point is that, like I said, if there's not one decision maker, or like once I started getting kind of halfway into it, I went, oh, I said, I probably should have just said no to this job, because it was like, I could tell, and I was dealing with one guy, and that guy was dealing with another guy, and they both came down, and then it was like they're going on vacation. And then I had to deal with another guy now, and he came, you know, and well, his standards might not be the same as the 2 other guys, and you know, so the list goes on and on. So it's like communities, like a subdivision, HOA, like a community, those things can be problematic. And like I said, after the video loads or whatever too, like I said, post them in the comment, let me know, you know. Otherwise you guys can always hit me up with an email too at the Daveadubson@gmail.com. I typically put it in the description below, and you know, let me know your stories, because these are those things, like in business, you're kind of by yourself, you're all alone, and like you have nobody to talk to about it, like, and you're just always the one like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I the screw up? Did I screw this up? I screwed this up. This was my fault. And you start doing it for so long, and you go, it's not my fault sometimes. Sometimes it is, but it's like almost like 3/4 of the time, it's kind of like, this ain't my fault. This guy screwed me. He called me. I showed up. I did what he wanted that day, same day. And then now it's time to pay, and they don't want to pay. You can't find them. They don't answer their phone. They do, you know, or this is changing, the scope of work's changing. Well, how many times I gotta go back and revise this estimate or this quote or this invoice, you know? So that's why sometimes those loyal customers can just be I think, God sent sometimes, because you just kind of know what you're getting into. You're already in the system. They know what to expect. You know what to expect. Kind of my 2 cents. What's it? Is it Kane? What's Kane's guy here says, it's coming home. What you got coming home? Ask some questions. Like I said, ask away. Don't be afraid. There isn't no stupid question. But sometimes just remember, if you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. So just, I guess, remember that. That's how I look at it. But like I said, let me know. I won't stay on here probably too much longer unless we get some questions or something or like that, or comments, because like I said, I gotta bust out at least around 6:45 or so. I got a few things I got to do. I got some errands and stuff I got to get taken care of before the night, because tomorrow we're doing the Menards stores. Oh, the lovely Menards stores. Just can't wait for the Menards store to see what has failed, what has gone wrong. Hopefully it all goes good. I'm gonna show you some some redneck ways. I don't know if I should say redneck ways, but I'm gonna show you some ideas. What you got, Keen? It says England to the final of Euros 24. Woo, he says, but your live is interesting. Awesome. I wonder, must be England 24. Huh. Must be around the world. It sounds like. But like I said, we'll just have to find out later in the video. We'll see what happens with some comments about those realtors. They're sneaky realtors. I can't think of anybody else right off the top of my head. It's just, I kind of thought, this one was one of those ones where I just kept going, keep inching in there, right? Keep inching in there for like, well, how do we do this? Well, how do we do that? Well, what do you mean, how do we do this? Come on, man. Like, you want me to either do it or stay out of it. So I just wanted to at least bring it to the surface and see if we could basically have a discussion about it, because I'm fascinated. Maybe somebody's going to come in here. I've dealt with 20 of them, never one problem. They all pay the bill. Everything goes great. But like I said, it's kind of one of those things. I hear, like I said, if it'll be like the church, it's kind of a community. The flags go up in my head, the yellow flags, and I kind of go. Sometimes they're red flags, and I go, you know what? Nah. It's all good. It's not worth it. Sometimes it's so much easier just to say no in the get-go than to play the game. You know what I mean? It's just not worth it. He says, or as you call it, scooter or soccer. Sorry, couldn't read. It was blocked here by the one thing. Is it soccer? Soccer? I don't do much of the sports around here. Like I said, I've always been a worker. I've always had to hustle and work and burn the midnight oil. The midnight candle, as they say. So anywho, like I said, I'll give it a few more minutes. Otherwise, I'll jump off here. I won't take up any more of you guys' time. Somebody's ripping on a bike. Maybe think about it for a second. I did also another thing just to kind of fill the void here. Manufacturers are having lots of problems. And that's another thing you could throw in the comments. If you think of it, let me know what kind of problems you're seeing with certain vendors and stuff like that, because oh man, I know LiftMaster's going through a big change. I know we just had a vendor that's normally pretty good that builds our gates. They had an issue. The gate was not built very good. I mean, I'm not a great gate, and when I mean gate, I'm talking like a slide cantilever gate for 6 foot tall, a 30-foot opening or something, like something that and luckily the manufacturer is going to refund it, basically get us another one. But what a pain in the hiney. I tell you what, the things I hear from you guys and from the business, it's tough. What's this say? What's King got here? It says, I have a similar gas engineer in the UK. Same problems with landlords. Last minute calls for new tenants, homeowners, and sketchy sometimes. Oh, King, I'm glad you put that in there. Same landlords. Yeah, I guess landlords could probably be like that too. You know what I mean? I just don't know. Sometimes it's like you just want to deal with the homeowner. Because I think that's a good point. You know what I mean? That if it's the landlord, it's kind of a weird, you're not going to really go back to the house in a sense and be like, hey, you owe me, when they're just renting. So, I think that's a good point. You know what I mean? So it's it's really tough. I've never did a lot with property managers for like the rentals and stuff. So I don't know what they're like, when I was doing the door side. So I don't know how good they are, if they're sketchy at all. I don't know that. But I could see where it's like, it just feels like you want to come down to the homeowner. That's what I feel like. I see Tony. Tony, you are not done working yet. Get back out there and make a few dollars. I mean, winter is coming, buddy. It says, realtors, he's my realtor. When I was flipping, she was amazing. He says, now she sends me nothing but work, tenants, but a real pain in the butt. Whatever I've learned is single men are the best. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, because I go realtors, this is realtors. My realtor was, when I was flipping, she was amazing. And the thing is like, when they're under their contract, they seem like they're doing a good job. But it's like, if they got a house, like, it seems like I've had them where it's like, if the house, something's malfunctioning, they're like, oh my gosh, they're panicking, and they're like, we got to get this, fixed, like, right now. Like, this is gonna, like, not help our sale. They will, yeah, it's like, that's where I've gotten burned. And I think, and trust me, I'm not discounting that this isn't my fault. You know what I mean? But and I guess I try to do this for some of the younger guys. That it's, I think the hardest thing, maybe Tony would agree with this, or even some older people, is what you got to remember is it's business, and you got to slow down, and you got to ask the questions like, okay, not a problem. Like, who's paying for this? Are you going to pay with card? Are you going to pay with cash? You're going to pay with Venmo, whatever it is, right? Like, these are things you need to ask. And then if you can, I'm always a big, like, if you can pre-qualify them. I look at so many things now and I go, pre-qualify the customer. Pre-qualify the customer. Have them send you a picture. Have them explain it better to you. And then give them a, like, you're probably going to be looking at this X amount of dollars. And if you hear that, like, and they fall over, yeah, you probably should call somebody else. That's how I look at it, because this is where we're at. I mean, it's like, hey, I know my service call is whatever, 120 minimum, and I know with what you're telling me, it's going to be, 200, 300, whatever, or a garage door, and get them pre-qualified. You know what I mean? Because if you hear them say, all right, well, you know what? I mean, it's got to get done. You know what I mean? So when do you think you could be here? Okay. Those are kind of things you want to hear, Go from there. King got here. Says landlords are, yeah, that's a good one. Keen's got on here. He says, landlords are like third party. You can't have contact with new tenants, as it's GDPR, which is security for the tenants details. So you have to go through the landlord to get the tenants. Yeah, you might be onto something here, Kane, because now I'm thinking of it. I didn't deal with it so much in the business, but I know Cap has got one customer that he deals with quite a bit, and I know they're kind of a pain in the butt. And they're a property manager, and it's like they always want to fix. Can you fix it? Can you fix it? Can you fix it? And they it's a lot of back and forth. You know what I mean? Because when he says nope, we got to replace it, they gotta contact who the owner is of the property, and then they got to either get it approved, or sometimes you know how it is, like they're gonna go, what? They want that much? Oh no, I got a guy that'll do it for this. So you're almost kind of missing out. Now I think he's pretty good about getting service calls out of him, if he does, but it's just kind of a waste of time, where it's like, it sucks because you do these estimates, you never got paid for it, you send it, they're like, I'll find somebody else that's cheaper. I was laying, I think I was in bed the other night, came across a township, one township over from us, and they were saying on there, they said, I need somebody to do, a concrete little pad or something. And you know, you start seeing the comments, right? And that's, I think, what's kind of the bummer sometimes about being a contractor, because they, you know, they were like, I see on the one here, this person goes, yeah, I use this guy. He was the cheapest, and he was doing rebar. And I'm like, you know, and I can't say good or bad about him. I don't know his work or anything like that. But I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, yep, yep, he was the cheapest. Yep. So the other 20 other people that went there and spent their time and their gas and whatever it was, hopefully they didn't. Hopefully they were like, can you just tell me a size? I can give you a ballpark price, whatever, you know. But so many people running around, and this guy was the cheapest, and he was doing rebar. Okay. I love it. I love it. He says, always it's 11 p.m. here, so I have a good day and stay safe. Awesome, man. 11 p.m. Yeah, it's time to go to bed. Time to go to bed. It's only 6 p.m. here in Michigan and the States. We still got some daylight, so hopefully you have a good rest of the evening. Thanks for asking the questions and putting in the input. That's interesting. I think that's pretty cool to see what's out there, because like I said, it's like one of those things you just feel like you're like, am I going cuckoo? Am I the only one that thinks this stuff? I think a lot of people, you know, you guys understand that if you're business owners, but a lot of outsiders never do. You know, people that typically work for other places and stuff like that, they don't see all this. You know, it's always you're on a different side when you're doing entrepreneur stuff, right? You're always looking at everything as a cost, in a sense. Everything is a waste of production. Everything is, you know, and it's probably because most people don't know what the stuff costs. You know what I mean? Like what, you know, it's easy for people are really simple minded sometimes. And so they look at like instant gratification, and they look at stuff and they go, well, they're making this much money on a job or something, you know, and I was only here for 2 or 3 hours or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you remember, like, for like all week now, you spent 3 to 4 hours just, you know, chilling or relaxing, or, you know, just kind of taking it easy, or playing on your phone, and that's another thing I should bring up on a video tonight. What's people's thoughts on the phones? You know what I mean? Is it like, do you think it's theft in a sense when people are playing on their phones all the time? You know, I mean, or is it just the norm and you just gotta live with it? It's a hard balance sometimes to kind of figure out what's, you know, what's kind of fair. But I think the phones have eaten up a lot of that stuff nowadays. You know what I mean? In a lot of businesses. I mean, go to a restaurant and when the girl or the guy, I don't know if so much in the guys, but when the girl turns around to fill your drink or something, look at her back pocket. And what's always in her back pocket? A cell phone. And why do you need a cell phone in your back pocket while you're at McDonald's or Burger King or wherever, you know, while you're working? You know what I mean? You're busy. I can tell you're really busy. There's cars and stuff. Why you gotta have that cell phone back there, right? Because you're gonna check it every second you get, right? And instead of, you know, you're checking that phone, maybe you should be cleaning the floor. Maybe you should be cleaning off the drinks splashed or whatever, you know, like maybe you should be filling the paper reel or something. I don't know, for receipts. Just stuff to think about, you know. So, what time is it? We're getting to be about that time. All right, I'm gonna give it about 5 more minutes, and then, so if you got any questions, concerns, I will answer them for you. If you got anything to add to it, go for it. It can be off topic. You don't have to be on topic. I do the lives more or less just for a free-for-all. I try to do the front of it as kind of the good stuff, and then the back is just kind of comments and whatever. We just kind of play around. He says they might miss Dave's live if they don't have it. That's right. What you should do is you should make sure you subscribe. You should hit the like button, because that just makes me really happy, and then it gets me really energized, and then I get like really anxious, and I'll just stay up till all hours of the night telling you about all the dirty secrets in business. And Kevin, brother, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Hope business is going okay. I think it's I was watching my one guy about lumber today, how lumber's soft, the market on it, you know, so I don't think it's going gangbusters out there, and there's pockets. I know I get the guys that are, you know, oh, it's crazy here, we're super busy. I get it. Heck, you know, and it all depends, right? I mean, it seems like as a contractor, you can never, you know, I know with the shop even, they're busy. You know what I mean? But all it takes is certain jobs to really like tie you up. You know, if you start doing a bigger job, you feel, you know, and it's always the weird thing about business. And when you're a contractor, it's like, you know, it's either kind of like you're dead or you're swamped. You're dead or you're swamped. That's why I always think of it as like the roller coaster. And it's like some weeks you're like, I only need 3 guys. And some other weeks come and you're like, I need 20 guys. And sorry about that. Probably paused out for a second. I've learned my lesson. I have to turn off the phone calls if otherwise you lose my voice. And people are like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, Caleb. Nice. Good to see you again. Good to see you, my friend. He says, learned a lot. This is from you, and I'm moving forward. Awesome, man. That's awesome. Great. Let me know, Caleb. Like I said, if you need my phone number, maybe you already got it, but if you need my phone number, let me know. You can either shoot me an email, I'll give it to you. Sometimes they're on my videos, and I got one of you. I think it's Will. Will's been sending me some pictures over there. He's doing a gate right now, which is awesome. And he got a new pedestal, and he was asking me, and I know Cap has done it. I haven't done one of the new style pedestals. And I'm like, he's like, which way do I do it? I'm like, I don't know, man. Let me ask. And I haven't dealt with one of those yet. And it was goofy. And I think he got it. But it's great. It's great. It's great seeing you guys out there hustling and, you know, doing good and making a living and making a few bucks here and there, even if it's a side job. It's great. It's great because you know, we need more people to take leadership. We need more people to take charge. We need more people to be coaches. We need more people to be entrepreneurs, go-getters, winners, not losers. Got open minds, willing to you know, try to solve any and every problem as best as their ability, or learn and grow and get better. That's what's really important. There isn't nothing. If, like I said, I look at this now, and I was even watching a guy today that said he was kind of saying almost like, if you're working your 9 to 5, and he's like, you wonder why somebody can afford an apartment, afford a house. He's like, because they have to do, typically you have to do some kind of side, you know what I mean? Like, you got to hustle, man. You got to hustle. It's a constant hustle. I still constant hustle. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough. He says, where can I find your email? He says, there's no excuses. That's right, Caleb. Normally my email is in the description below, but I'll tell you, if you want to rewind it real quick, we don't have a lot of people here. But my phone number, normally I write it down, but hopefully you can just hear it. It's just 231-720-9675. So just rewind this back a little bit. 231-720-9675. You can just shoot me a text. Don't worry if you're across the country or you're in a different country or across the world, because you know what? Uncle Dave's phone is always on silent, so you're never going to wake me up. You're never going to disturb me. But I do check my phone occasionally. You know, but sometimes if there's a pause, well, I'm probably just like you. I'm either, I don't have to change poopy diapers anymore, but I'm either up in a scissor lift, I'm running a piece of equipment, I'm driving truck, I'm running a piece of power equipment, I'm working on a garage door, I'm doing something. Otherwise, I just get back when I can. Some of the guys on the lives, I typically, you know, I'm kind of burned out at the nighttime, and I don't know what time they peeled off, so I normally wait till the next day to message them and say, you know, whatever they send me for pictures and stuff, which is great. You know, Tony and Rich and Kevin and everybody, you know, Will and Tanner. I mean, there's just so many of you guys. I'm losing track. Like I said, I gotta start getting a tablet down, you know, where I can just have everybody in what state and everything they're in, because it's just great. You know what I mean? Seeing what you guys have been up to and what's going on, and it's been a lot of fun, that's for sure. So again, like I said, 231-720-9675. And let me know in the video, like I said, at the end when we get done with this, you know, leave some comments about whatever. You know, let me know what your thoughts are on the realtor or the communities, or maybe if you had some bad experience with some churches, you know, because they're just, you know, they're not a one decision maker, you know. And don't be afraid, like I said too, if you guys want, I always tell everybody, you know, you can send me pictures of like anything. It doesn't even have to be. I get some from Rich. He's like casino. He's over here in Michigan doing stuff. I mean, Tony does the same, and I do the same. I try to do it back the same. So it's just fun seeing the pictures and stuff and what you're working on, garage doors or problems you guys are having. I love that. So don't be afraid. Be like, you know what? I bet he would like to see this, or share it, or you know, what's his thoughts. If you got, you know, if you got a problem too, just remember, you know, I'm not going to get back to you in like 2.7 seconds. You know what I mean? If you're in a pinch, you might have to call tech support. But if you have something that you're like, man, I'm struggling with this, and maybe if I could run it past somebody, and I do occasionally, I do phone calls. It's just I have to kind of set them up, because otherwise there's a lot of distractions, and I have to set up times typically to have phone calls. I've done, I think with Josh, we've done the face calls, whatever they're called. Why am I saying it wrong? You know I'm saying it wrong. Something like that. You get the point. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna go run some stuff while we still got daylight, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Let me know in the comments, or email me, or text me, and we'll talk to you on the next round. We'll see where we go from there. So stay tuned. Thanks for being here. Have a good day and night, and make sure you keep your fingers.